Hello, good morning, everyone. It's Tuesday morning. I'm Nick Paro. This is Sick of the Shit Publications, and I am joined by my good friend, colleague, intelligently masculine male, Walter Rhein, and level 36 magic user
Yes.
for Notes of the Week. Welcome, Walter. Welcome back, my friend. It's Tuesday, which means we get to ground ourselves.
Yeah, I need to talk to you today.
Oof.
I like your energy. I was just reflecting on it. Your energy just kind of helps me feel, yeah, a lot better. Do you have the chat link, by the way? Can you throw
Yep,
that in the private?
sending it to you in our private chat. I was thinking about that too, because
Yeah.
I'm not seeing anyone yet, but that's only because hello everyone, welcome on Substack as we pull up our chats and we get everyone in. Good morning,
There
good
they are.
morning.
Yeah. Hello.
I miss the rush of everyone coming in the beginning. Say hi if you want to. Also, we're gonna be before I forget about it.
Hearts. Thanks for the hearts. I saw
Thanks
some
for the
hearts.
hearts. Yeah,
We
hit the
need them.
hearts as you come on into it. Helps bring more people in. It gets the algorithm going so that we can have a great discussion with as many of you possible. I'm going to be pulling up a link and dropping it in the chat for a new questionnaire form.
Oh, good.
If anyone wants to submit a question during the show to us that Walter and I can get outside the chat that we'll be able to keep too. So if we
Yeah.
can't address it today, we will be able to address it in a future show. Is I'm going to drop a chat for a Google form where you guys can ask us questions, anonymous or named if you want to, up to y'all. So Walter, good morning. How are
Yeah.
you? Get some feels out while I get
Yeah.
this thing pulled up for us.
Yeah, I mean, let's just be honest. I'm not happy. I'm not doing well. I mean, I'm still kind of in that. I mean, guys, I've talked to a couple people about it. We're an hour and a half out of the Minneapolis. Last week was just a shit show. We had a day where I didn't send my kids to school because we were just fearful. There had been some reports that there was going to be ice activity in our town. And I think the thing that's bothering me most is that you know, I'll talk to people in the black community, they get it. I talk to people in the LGBTQ plus community and they get it. And Hispanic community, white people aren't getting it. They're just I talked to a couple of them over the last couple days, and they're just still got this passive. Yeah, we got to have hope though, Annalise. We're gonna have hope, but I mean, we got to get through to people. And I did that interview with Dan Englehart. I think that was on Friday, and I think you shared that one, Nick.
Yep,
And it
on Banner
was
and Backbone, where they're doing the on the ground patrols and all of
yes,
those.
and he
Yeah,
was out on patrol, and that was so centering to me because I mean, there's a lot of stuff the media is not reporting what's happening. That we've known that's to be the case. And I knew this stuff was going on, but getting to see in that video talking with Dan while he was out on the street saying, that's ice going by right now. That's ice. And it kind of helps it helps activate your brain because the reality of what we're up against, this is serious because we now have federal forces murdering people and they're abducting people, they're beating people. And I mean, we got our feckless Democrats. I mean, we have Democrats, politicians who are still not willing to say they're going to stand up and defund ICE. That's completely unacceptable. And so I encourage, it's on Banner and Backbone. Go check out that video, or it's on my page. Check out that video because Dan's a warrior. We've been trying to get him on here, but
yeah, we'll
he's
get
so
them on.
busy. Well, he's so
Yeah,
busy.
we'll
And I keep forgetting that guy's name, Borgonio or whatever. That guy who's just that piece of garbage with that guy who's got a smirk on his face as he's violating. And he's had to handle that guy. I mean, and it's all peaceful.
Oh,
They go out, they blow.
Bovino, Dan
Yeah,
Bovino.
that's the
Yeah,
name.
that asshole.
They blow whistles, they honk horns, and they say when they show up, the ice does leave. And when you're documenting what they're doing, they can't hide these documents. I mean, we're not at the position of power yet, but the activism has to be today. Everybody's got to get that out of their head that we can just wait till the midterms and everything will be fine. That's really wrong, and that's bad. We have to have we have to activate more people. Every single day, we have to let everybody in this country know. And it's the white people you have to get through to because I'm still talking to people and they're still just giving me that deflection, and they're not listening to me. And the things I'm saying are just bouncing off the surface of their brains because they don't want to hear it. And I've been this white person too, right? And it takes being in that situation. And I've talked about that situation when I was at that murder scene, and after that moment, you're a changed person. And these things that are just hypothetical become real. And it doesn't get any more real than what we're going through right now. So
Yeah. Yeah. It's right now we're about as real as we can get. Like there is
Yeah.
coming back from this.
It's not
But
theory though. It's
it's
reality.
not theory. Like you have to put in the work. We have to put in the work, not you. We all need to be putting in the work. And folks like Dan Engelhardt are showing us how to do that and giving
Yes.
us the training tools on how to do that. Folks like Chris Goldsmith, who are putting out videos and detailed information on what you should be purchasing if you are going to do ice watch and ice patrols, is what types of cameras you should have with you, specifically 24/7 rolling dash cams that auto upload to the cloud. If you can afford one, a body cam yourself, so that if you're out watching ice and observing, you can safely do it. And there's a device that will capture and cannot be deleted or manipulated. That's in a third party state. How do you share your location? Going out with a friend, making sure that you have a battle buddy is what they're called in the military, but a community watch buddy or an observer buddy, whatever you want to have. We just need to have people
Yeah.
starting or not starting, people continuing and growing the organizing that is already happening, because there are plenty of people organizing. You just have to engage yourself with them. Be willing
Yeah.
to engage with that organizing, and you too can feel less powerless. You can actually feel
Absolutely.
like you have power to do something. Is by organizing, is by listening
Yeah.
to these discussions, talking with Walter and I, asking questions in the chat, having a really good community overall, sharing, restacking these. That is part of that, because you get that information. Plus, you also get ways to talk about it with your family.
Yeah. And it's coming. I mean, that's the other thing. And thanks for being here. Brave souls. I appreciate all you guys, you wonderful people, but it is coming. And yeah, you're going to encounter a lot of resistance because it's easier to be in denial. It's easier to act like this is not a thing. And the flat out truth is Americans have been groomed and indoctrinated to permit this to happen, and it's in our response to just this, the fact that such an odious person could get even one vote, and achieve the levers of power, shows that this country has a rot to its core that we have to fix. We have to recognize. It's going to take some conversations, and you have to go out and get to those organizations too, because so many of these even the organizations, a lot of them are kind of got this passive attitude, and they just
Yeah.
need to see more perspectives, and they got to see what, you know there's a couple I've reached out to multiple times. I'm like, you guys need to talk to me, and they haven't done it yet. And I've talked to a lot of Congress people and stuff. They, like the ones running for office, they'll call me on the phone. I talk to those people, but there's others in these activist groups. I'm like, we did a demonstration over the weekend, and some lady was out with
Mhm.
her microphone, and she was just saying, this is what democracy looks like. And I'm like, well, that's nice, but give me the microphone. And it's like, we can do some vetting. You can see who I am first, but I want to take this hour and talk to these people here. And I
Yeah.
can tell them some things. And I mean, it's nice to chant, but I can use this. I'm a good orator. Give me that opportunity. Let me do this. I
Yeah.
know what's going on. And it's like, we're still not at that point yet. It's like, come on, guys, quit it. Let's get
Yeah.
on board here.
We need to stop restraining ourselves, and we need it's not we, like Walter and I are putting ourselves out here and talking and discussing and making sure that people have words to be able to understand and focus their efforts and actions and engagements on. But if the communities that we're trying to get engagement from aren't willing to engage back, then there's a problem. Like, that's a
Yeah.
problem,
Yes.
is that we are unwilling to have communities that engage back, to us. And I think we're starting to get to the point too where we're now going to force ourselves into
Yeah.
the discussion, whether they want us there or not.
Yeah.
I think we now have the power to force ourselves into the discussion points and make our voices known. And we get responses back from larger creators and
Yeah.
from folks who have networks and access to the people that we have been demanding to get responses from or get action out of. Like, do you think that Rokana and came into the announcement, I think it was today, that they want to prosecute They want to do congressional investigations and possible recommendations of prosecution for Jonathan Ross from a congressional side and do that. And then put forward the bill with Jasmine Crockett as co-signer. And yes, Jasmine Crockett is fucking awesome. She should be the next senator from Texas.
Yes.
Tallarico is cool. Jasmine Crockett is the person for this
Yeah.
moment, not Tallarico. We need more Jasmine Crockett's.
Yes.
We need less Tallaricos, unfortunately, right now. Tallarico's a good candidate. He represents a progressive wing of Christian values, of what progressive Christianity and what a lot of true teachings of Christianity look like.
Yeah.
However, he's aligned himself with James Carville, who's a racist misogynist. He has not apologized for that. And Jasmine Crockett is the better candidate for the moment, in my opinion.
She's more qualified.
She's more qualified. She has federal congressional experience.
Yes.
She knows the committees. She knows what she's doing. She's young. She is powerful. She speaks her fucking mind and doesn't hold back and uses the right words when they're needed. And to be honest, I think Tallarico's too religious too. I think we need less very blatantly Christian or Catholic members. And yes, Jasmine Crockett's religious too, but she doesn't go out there and make that her whole identity. I want people who aren't identifying as Christian first to be candidates. I want people who identify as American first who need to be candidates. And Jasmine Crockett represents that more, in my opinion. But that's my humble opinion. And we're going to get into some humble opinions today because Adam Kinzinger said some stupid shit this week, and fuck him because he's an idiot for saying that. And dude, know your place. But we'll get to that. But I think Jasmine Crockett's just the right person and the better candidate right now.
Let me just add to that, because the black community knows that police have been killing them all, and so it's just. Yeah, I'm every day I'm scared to death for my kids and my wife, being clearly Hispanic looking. And it's just, even then, it's like I would defer to them to be the ones who's like, absolutely the hell not. We're not going to have this domestic terrorism. We're not going to have a Gestapo that's murdering people. And that's why the black community should deserve our total support, because they're just absolutely the ones that know this has been going. This isn't new. And that's the real shame here. We've allowed this. White people have allowed police to be murdering people for decades. And now, they're murdering white people too, like we told them. And it's just like, Tallarico you should go to Congress. The step from state government is Congress. That would be the logical step. Then you become a senator later down the line. So respect that you've got a more qualified adversary. Don't divide the vote. Go run. There's all these new congressional seats in Texas that they just made. He'd be perfect for one of those. I wish he would do that. That would be a strategy. But we've got consultants in the Democratic Party that don't want to see black women get to power. That's really what's going on. That's why Kamala Harris was sabotaged. She doesn't explicitly say it in her book, but it's pretty clear when you read the book. You're like, yep, the Democratic Party did not want a strong black woman president. Not the entire Democratic Party, but factions within. So as I keep saying, we have to clean our own house before we can mount an effective resistance. So we have to talk strongly about those things.
Yeah. And we have to be okay with admitting that we have to be open with and actively admitting that there is a lot of racism on the Democratic Party side too. There is a lot of white supremacy baked into the party by choice or by just happenstance, because that's the system. It's still baked in, and we have to break it. We have to be willing to finally say, done. I'm fucking tired of this. I'm tired of attacking people for the color of their skin and not judging them on the content of their characters. I'm tired of having to continually have white people put these amazing, amazing folks down, whether they be black, whether they be Hispanic, whether they be um, Middle Eastern, whether they be Asian or your other Europeans. African in general, South American in general. I'm tired
Yeah.
of the domination culture in this fucking
Yes.
country that people think we're just inherently better than
Yeah.
others for,
Yeah.
and it's only white people who think that they're inherently better in
Yeah.
this for the most.
Well,
I'm going to say on majority it's white people and
that's a
women. It's the I'm not saying and yes, women specifically are a huge target. Minorities in general, LGBTQ plus communities, all of them.
yeah.
I'm so tired and sick of the shit, which is why I
Yes.
might name my publication "Sick of the Shit Publications." Is because I'm so sick of this shit that we have to think that the only path forward is hatred and othering.
Yeah.
Well, fuck
No.
that.
And Rachel put it so well the other day. We all have to undergo this cultural deprogramming. And I've just written about. I wrote a post the other day. It's like it's not enough to accept your cultural programming to be racist and then not act on it. We have to actively work to remove that cultural programming. And
Hmm.
that's where this gets really tricky. And when I talk about it with Will Fullwood, who's a racialized black man, he admits that even as a racialized black man, he's been culturally indoctrinated to enable white supremacy. And he and I work on this. We try to overcome these things. So I've had people say it's like, it's not enough. Yeah, we're against white supremacy, and then you do all this white supremacy shit. And
Hmm.
it's like inherent to white supremacy is misogyny. But my wife will say too, she's had plenty of white women treat her like she's less than human. And it's
Hmm.
like not because they would even say to themselves or think to themselves that they're consciously being racist. It's our cultural indoctrination, our cultural grooming put into us against our will. And we,
Yeah.
each of us individually, and I mean, these aren't attacks. This is a hard topic. It's hard to say that. I'm not saying people are bad. I'm saying you've had something done to you that was bad and you carry that thing. It's like they injected it into you when you were a baby and now we have to expel it. It has to be put out and it takes deliberate action. And so again, thank you guys. Thank you for being here. These are hard topics, but we're not going to get out of this mess unless we address this. It's just unavoidable. We got ourselves in the bottom of a hole and we have to get out by taking appropriate action that is aligned with integrity. And we have to accept that human beings can be good and we can be led by good people. We don't have to use all this white supremacy conditioning like saying, well, human beings always exploit or any system is going to be corrupt. All that stuff is white supremacy enabling. We need a whole new system and we have to expel the hate ideology from our sense of identity and be something better.
Yeah, and we also can we can also confront this simply at home. One of the big
Yes.
things, Walter, you just said in there was like not attacking the person themselves. It's personality. It's not attacking personhood or personality at that moment. It's attacking the indoctrination itself,
Yes.
the
Yes.
the root cause of the problem. And I see there's talk from good chat going on in our subscriber chat. Everyone is being um,
Yeah. Thank you.
as always, friendly and asking and putting
There's the
in good
hearts.
information. Thanks for the hearts, all.
Oh, Bob
Is
Dana.
Bob, welcome, my friend. Is that we need to stop overcorrecting to
Courtney.
the extremes. Courtney, great comment, is we need a system that doesn't swing the pendulum all the way to the other extreme. Is we need to also find a way to unprogram our biases
Yeah. Yeah.
themselves.
Yeah.
Like, I have biases, and I'm going to say this, and I may lose subscribers for it. And if I do, I do. I have a bias against Christians right now and Christian faith denominations. And I think they're a trap. I think they are indoctrination centers, similar to what we propagandized and said that all of the Islamic schools in the
Yeah.
Middle East were indoctrination and terrorist
Cusco.
grooming centers. Like, The difference is if the Islamic version of extremism isn't happening in the US. What is happening in the US is Christian extremism, is extremism that founded the Mormon church, that led to the modern day Mormon church being what it is, and denying that black people were equal in the church until like a couple fucking years ago. Like, so we have one of our foundational churches in this country. The Mormon Church was founded on the genocide of Native Americans and culling anyone who wasn't white. That's
Mm,
their history.
mm,
It's okay to talk about that.
mhm.
I'm biased against certain religions because they do things like that, because they don't confront that history and
Yeah,
are unwilling to fix it themselves
yeah,
on their turf. I cannot fix Mormonism. I cannot fix Christianity. I'm neither. I'm an agnostic to atheist, culturally Jewish American.
yeah, yeah,
And I have Canadian and French ties. I have Belarusian and Russian ties because of my history when my family was expelled before World War One or around World War One during the Bolshevik Revolution. My history, my family's history on the Jewish side mirrors Stephen Miller's family in a lot of ways, except we didn't go conservative fucking Nazi because we decided, you know what, giving back to the community is a better thing than oppressing the
yeah,
community.
yeah,
Um, and so that's how we have to actively do it,
yeah.
and then we can confront things. And my final point, real quick, going back to what you're saying about like how we approach the discussions on this. I do this with my son a lot. Is I remind him if it's a behavioral issue, if it's something that we're trying to fix, I say, you, the person, are not the problem. The behavior itself
Yeah,
is the issue. We can fix that. We can work on other things that help you combat that behavior.
yeah,
We can give you tools. And if you approach people the same way as you would mindfully talking to your children, not in a demeaning way, not talking down to them, but talking to them as a full fledged person that could understand that there's a
yeah.
difference between you, the person, and these things in your head, the ideas. That's
Yes.
mindfulness. We have
Mhm.
to teach others mindfulness without teaching them mindfulness. Like,
Yeah,
you can do it without saying, you need to be mindful. You need to go to therapy. You need to talk about wise mind or intelligent mind or somewhere in the middle. No, you can just be like, hey, there's a difference between you, the person, and you, the thought.
yeah.
And when they understand that, you can start breaking the thoughts down that are the indoctrination.
Yes. I've had a couple conversations lately too, because I think the Christian community needs to be aware that white supremacy is defiling. It is a perversion of it's built on the same model, except with human beings. A white person is stalled on the earth as God. So it's an abuse of authority that way, but it takes all the modeling of Christianity. So if we can appeal to more Christians to say, look, white supremacy is a threat to the existence of your belief set, and it's like, if you want to be good people, you have to join us and be against
Hmm.
this. And
Yeah.
actually, it's really interesting that this came up, because there was a thing that happened the other day. A teacher was getting harassed by a MAGA parent at my school that my daughter told me about. And I was sitting there just being, hey, Stephanie. So I was sitting there being angry about this. I'm like, what can I do? What can I do? And I recalled that a couple months ago, or like a month ago, I was at a basketball game and this pastor I know showed up. And I've just taken it upon myself to have these conversations. Like, I'm at this game because I don't want ICE to steal my kids and murder them. And so I was just talking to him, and he expressed concern. I'm like, okay. And then in the course of an hour conversation, I got the opinion. It's like, I think this is a sincere actor. And I think there are a lot of insincere actors who claim to be fake Christians, as Kat said. But there are some that are sincere. And so then once you find one that's sincere, when I heard about this other issue, I called him up. I found his number. I called him up and say, hey, maybe you don't remember me. This just happened at the school. And I said, look, part of our problem is good people are indoctrinated to just be silent and just wait for the midterms or wait for the and do nothing and then just wait. While the MAGA group always has permission to stir up shit, because they're always it's always false. They always get different rules for themselves. White supremacy is built on that. That's why, when they have a convicted felon, they open up the doors for him, if he's one of theirs, to let him become president, but they'll close the doors for accomplished people. And so,
sorry, go ahead.
Oh yeah, I'll just say I called up the pastor and I said, look, good people in this community. It's like, it's not fair that one asshole can call up and cause problems for a good teacher, and it's all in silence and in secret, and we don't get to hear this accusation, and I'm not allowed to respond to it. So we, as responsible members of the community, what we have to start doing is respond with positivity. Today, call up your school and praise the teachers of your child. Just go do that. Because, if the ones, particularly the ones that are good ones, because damn well that those good teachers I'm a teacher. I'm not teaching now because I got fucked with a lot for just like saying things that the kids need to hear. The students love me. They gave me standing ovations. Parents don't like it when you tell kids, hey, yeah, you're being abused. Go get help. I don't care if it's your dad, go do something, but you don't deserve to be treated like that. And we don't have those systems in place. And that's the other passive thing. We're also goddamn fucking passive, where we sit there pretending it's like, do positive works. Just give yourself permission to do positive works. Have appreciation days for teachers and be loud. And so that the asshole white supremacists, who are a minority in every community, don't have this disproportionate power, because they're the only ones calling in and bitching about things and getting stuff removed from our curriculum and having books burned and insisting we teach a sanitized history. We can change all that, but not by being passive. But we can embrace positive action, and we can support our teachers and the other good people. And so hopefully, yeah, this pastor assured me he'd go in, he'd talk to them. He knows the superintendent. He'd speak on her behalf. I've sent my messages in. I hope I've combated this instance. There will be more. There will be in your communities too.
Yeah. And I think it's one of the things you said I want to get your comment on. I want to push back a little, because I don't like calling them fake Christians. They're not fake Christians. They wholeheartedly believe in what they are doing for the purpose of God. There are passages in the Bible which justify their actions. They're evangelicals. They just interpret it differently than we do. They interpret it and make up the stories. I don't think they're fake. I think we need to stop talking about them as fake, because I'm not going to talk about the fact that Benjamin Netanyahu is a fake Jewish person. He's Jewish, and he's causing a fucking genocide and Holocaust with the Israeli government in Palestine. They're real Jews. They're just fascists. They're just Zionists. They can be both without us making excuses for them. Because when we say they're fake, we make an excuse for them. We're excusing their behavior as this isn't the history of Christianity. Well, I have a boat to sell you in Arizona about the story of if you believe that's the story of Christianity, that they aren't violent. They took over and destroyed the Roman fucking Empire, and then took over all of Europe and subjugated everybody else's religions and made 1,000-year fucking dark age. The Christians are a violent history of religious oppression. We need to stop pretending that they're fake. They used their religious power and influence to co-opt and take over the entirety of Europe, subjugating and destroying every native religion and cultural identity outside of their own.
Yeah.
So let's stop excusing Christians as non-fascists. They've been doing this since their inception. They don't believe in Jesus's teachings. They just use his name. But that's Christianity.
Yeah.
We got to stop excusing it.
Yeah. Well, that's definitely the history. And like I've said on multiple times, Christianity is largely responsible for white supremacy. They created it to justify the slave trade, which they also started. And so those are things. But I think you said something critical too. I think there are some valid things. I'm not even 100%. Like people say, even there's some things that Jesus said that I contest. Like when he says, "Let he who's without sin cast the first stone." It's like, well, this occurred to me the first time. A person without sin wouldn't have wanted to cast the stone anyway. That that occurred to me when I was young. So that indicates either Jesus didn't understand sin or he was deliberately manipulating people. But that, that's kind of another question. But I think though, in following some of those teachings, there are good things in there. And if we can appeal
Yes.
to the organizations that are here, and I have met, and maybe before calling up this guy, I wouldn't have said that because I hadn't seen too many examples in my life of most of the oppression, and I'm a survivor of Christian abuse. So almost everyone that I've ever met has been bad. But I've been saying that more often lately. I've had one or two actually write me and apologize on behalf of all Christianity. So I have to, by living by my own standard of integrity, to say, okay, those people they practice accountability. And if we can turn these existing power structure, that doesn't mean forgetting the past. That means them teaching the past and saying, yeah, we owe reparations. The Catholic Church should be paying reparations for the money that they gained because of slavery, because they're sitting on, I think, $70 billion, a fortune of $70 billion. Pay that shit out. Says in your own book that you're not supposed to have any money. But yes, I think right now, if we can go and have conversations with pastors who have influence in our communities and turn them to our side and get them to defend our children, those are the allies. And I think as we defeat white supremacy, this will be an ongoing process. It doesn't have to be everything at once. We have to make steady acts, taking people to our side, making them see that white supremacy is as much a threat to their, institution and their beliefs as it is to our lives, so that they're on our side. Then we can change and move forward and have things more positive. But yeah, everything you're saying, I totally agree with, Nick, and the complexity of it. How to get through to people is the hard part.
Yeah. And so that eventually we can also break down the culture of protecting rapists and pedophiles. There's a huge culture in, the church does that. They sweep it under the rug. The Trump administration sued to have a law overturned that required the reporting of sexual assault for churches, for underage sexual assault and rape abuses and allegations. They want to get rid of that. They want to make pedophilia more common. Child marriages have been a part of arranged marriages have been a part of Christianity forever. We just don't ever talk about them. They're all over the place.
Yes.
Multi-wives for those who believe in pluralistic marriages. That's a huge part of the fundamentalist Mormon church. Is one man with multiple wives spreading his seed because Joseph Smith was a rapist and stole people's wives and was a pedophile and a fraudster and a cheat and founded a fucking religion. Does that sound like somebody we know who found golden tablets in the fucking woods? He's the biggest shame to the state of Vermont, is Joseph Smith. He came from the state of Vermont originally. He's a fraudster. He's a fucking piece of shit. He deserved the fate he got because he hurt so many people. And they don't rescind those things. They hide them. So I think we need, to me, in anyways, I don't talk about them as fake Christians or fake Jews, because nobody would ever say that Netanyahu is a fake Jew. Nobody would ever say that the Israeli government are fake Jews. Yet here we are. Here they are committing a genocide and a Holocaust in Gaza. They're real Jews. They're just fucking fascists on top of it. They're supremacists. They believe they are better than the people in Gaza, than the Palestinians. That's all it comes down to, is they think they're better. We can break that. I don't think I'm better than other people. It's taken me time to learn also how to break through my own indoctrinated white supremacy. And I actively go out and fight against white supremacy on a daily basis. Like, that is my focus for this whole year, is to break down white supremacy. And part of that, to get out of this sad discussion for a little bit and give ourselves our grounding break, because for everyone who's with us, we do go for 2 hours now on the show, so hang out. We're going to be here for a while. If you want to pop back, if you got to leave and pop back in, feel free, but smash that heart while you're here. Eric, hey, welcome. I am excited to talk to both Walter and Eric this week on Thursday for their intelligent masculinity interviews, which Walter was asking me before the show, do I do a lot of writing these days? And that's where I'm focusing in a lot of efforts on writing is the intelligent masculinity discussions. I'm writing articles after each, and then I'm going to put them together into a series of discussion articles around the overall themes of what it means and looks like to be an intelligently masculine man or intentionally intelligent man in a new time, and how we can use that as a model for others to follow and a model for others to use in their real life right now to be able to make their lives better. My life is better since I don't work in the tech field that I was in. I'm out of an abusive job more so than anything. And I get to talk about my feelings and my desires and my dreams and my goals with my friends all the time.
Yes.
So, as Sherrod Sweeney said in his discussion, is find a group, if you're a man, find a group of men you can cry around. And that's what you want.
Yeah.
You want friends you can cry around. You need male friends that you can cry with, and they will cry to you too. Like that's so important because it teaches you how to deal with fucking emotions. You have to learn how to respond to it too. And Sherrod, who is 19 fucking years old,
Yeah, I was listening to
who
that.
has
Fantastic.
founded the Centered America 501c4 organization with Gavin Favor, a nationally organized group that is doing action focused, 19 fucking years old.
Good for him.
This young man is showing what it can be like to be an intelligently masculine man in an age where accountability is not asked from you. And that's what we're asking is accountability from people. But I want to switch over. I derailed us there for a second. I want to
that's good.
switch over into the next part of, to me, part of what it means to be intelligently masculine and how I love sharing my daughter's artwork. I love sharing Walter's daughter's artwork. I want to start sharing my son's works and things that he's doing. This one's special too. Walter, I'm going to pull up our screen. Can you tell everyone who this picture is about? Because she's a friend of all of ours and someone who's super amazing.
Well, it's been fun. I've been sending my daughter pictures of the various creators. I'll send them their profile pic, and I'll have my daughter do a cartoon version. So this is her version of Ellie Leonard, and it came up because I think I posted the picture of that paper doll. The paper doll is out of reach, but I have it behind me, and Ellie's like, "Oh, I love your daughter. She's so great." So I'm like, Ellie would appreciate this. So I just took a screenshot of her profile pic and sent it to my daughter, and she sent it. So then I just used it today I added in the background and used this today for an article I did because it's convenient because now it's in my collection of images. But she captured, I think, Ellie there, and I think it's just beautiful. And Ellie was just absolutely delighted to get this. And this is just the small things you can do to people. You know, you do this for people, these little things. And like going back with Ellie, there was a day where I was reading her novel, and I'm just like, oh, there's no voiceover. I'll just record a voiceover as I read this. And so she got that, and she was just like, oh my God, this is so kind of you to give me this recording of somebody else reading. And it's just this gift you can give. There's ways that you can just show appreciation to people. It's little things like this that give you, that make these hard times easier to live through. And I'll keep doing this. I keep sending profile pics to my daughter, and she likes doing this, and she's so talented. She can do these pretty quick. And it just, I don't know. It's just a nice return on the investment of time she puts in. It makes people happy. You open up your inbox one day, and among all the awful news and the awful things, you get a nice picture like this made from a little girl who's like, oh, I heard you're a good person. She did one of Dana and Lawrence too. And
I loved really those fun. Too. Yeah. Your daughter is amazing. Can she do one of me? I'd love a picture.
I got a couple in queue, but yeah, you're definitely on that list. So
okay, awesome. Because I'd love to use her picture as my profile picture instead. Because why not? It's so amazing. Like it's cute and it captures Ellie and it captures the idea of who she really is. She's a teacher. She's teaching us all sorts of things, even if that's not who she thought she was going to be. She's a teacher. And I love it. It's so cute.
Yeah, it is.
And everyone in the chat is giving so much love.
Yeah.
And Kat, I'd love if you wanted to draw me. I love featuring people's art. I have no problem
Yeah, do it.
like having people like I'm
Oh,
just
please.
I
Fan
it
art.
would I would feel so much giddy joy seeing
Yes.
an artistic rendition of myself. I've never
Oh,
had
yeah.
someone do one like that outside of
Uh,
like paying for like uh calligraphy,
yeah.
like one of those like street artists who do those. Like I would
Oh, please,
I would
please,
love that.
please. Please, everybody, all of you, 238, send your 239. Send your fan art to us. We will feature it. That will be
Oh
just
my gosh,
beautiful.
yeah.
We need that. I need that. That just the idea of that might get me through the day. And as we start doing that, going through like 10 pictures, oh my God, I would love it. So please
Okay.
send that in.
So I'm gonna
This is your platform as much as it's ours.
So I'm going to ask Courtney because she's all awesome. Caricature. Thank you, Darvid. I'm going to ask Courtney if there's a way. I bet there is. Is there a way that we can upload or have the form be able to upload images for our question form? Or if people, because I want to make it simple for folks to be able to send us if they want artwork.
Yeah.
Be appropriate. We will if I start getting pictures of people's genitalia,
They won't do that.
I will ban the shit out of you. So please do not do that. Thank you very much. I will ban the shit out of you. And I'll probably make fun of you too. If anybody hasn't noticed, I'm not above shaming the shit out of people and calling people testicles and smegma and all sorts of other things. I'll ban you faster than Lawrence would. And Lawrence is like insta ban.
We could just do a Gmail. We should just start up a Gmail for this show, and then people could just email it to that. That'd be an easy way, right?
I could do a handle for I have at sick of this shit publications.com emails. And I'll just do a notes of the week at sick of this shit publications.com. And we can and y'all can submit your any photos for that artwork or fan art that you want to do. Courtney's adding it to the form too, so it might even be easy on the form. But yeah, we'll figure this out and we'll get something cool.
Please do.
And so Ellie, the Ellie art, thank an Ellie, thank a teacher.
Do it
and enjoy it. Like go out after the show. I'm gonna tag Ellie in it as part of like the image of Ellie by Walter's daughter. Here's Ellie. Thank an Ellie, thank a teacher. Because I think it would be awesome to make sure that we also boost Ellie too, because she's freaking cool.
Oh, she's working so hard. And she's going through such she's been in those Epstein. She needs positive stuff. We got to send we got to fortify each other with positivity. And part of white supremacy is that we always just withhold our, praise because we feel like the white supremacy mindset is to criticize all the time. And I grew up like that. You never you bring home an A- and you're like the worst person in the world. And it doesn't matter. It's just like it's always got to look for something that's bad. Because if you give praise, it makes people think then they can displace you as the top of the heap. And it's the fear of these white supremacists and how toxic it is. So to defeat it, let's just be positive. And that's just the one thing you can do today. Call up your kid's teacher and say, you're doing a good job, or send them an email, or just ask them if they want some supplies. Just do and those things make you feel good. Those moments of frustration, they make you feel so good. They get you through this hard time. And that's how we're going to succeed.
Yes, absolutely. And spread the joy. Purposely spread joy because they cannot take your joy away from you. Never let them take joy, because that is, again, like Renee Nicole Good. Her last recorded words was, "I'm not mad at you, bro. Like, I'm not mad at you. I just want you to leave." Like, she was confronting some of the most violent, vicious hate and supremacist mindset in the world with a smile and with words of, "I don't hate you." And that's what it's going to take. And yes, it could get more and probably will get more dangerous. I'm not going to sugarcoat that things are going to get worse before they get better. But part of the getting better is, like Walter, you just said, is flood the zone with positivity, flood the zone with pro-dignity. We say it all the time, is just flood the zone, do their mentality, but in the positive way. If there's no positive role models, who are we going to base our who are we going to model ourselves off of?
Yeah.
So let's go out and be those. Be
And a,
strong and right. Be
and a
authoritative and right.
a kind word can save a life today. Right now, people are so against the wall, and just, hey, thanks for what you did. That can be enough to get somebody to carry on who might have been ready to quit. So please go do it. Smiling at people, open the door, saying good morning, all these little things. People really need it right now. They really do.
Yeah. And it is dangerous now. And Walter and I talk about how do you lessen those dangers? How do you protect yourself and make yourself safe when you're doing the actions? Because you're going to have to put yourself in some danger for some of these things. Going on ice patrols, we know and people know are not always safe because ice has a tendency to overreact and overrespond because that's what they're trained to do.
Yeah.
Go listen to my interview with Jen Budd from yesterday with Zev Shalev. That's what they're trained to do.
Yeah.
They're trained for that.
Yeah.
And so we're taking time out to enjoy some positivity and spread some joy. And so thank an Ellie today and thank a teacher. Do both.
Do it.
Both. Go tag Ellie after the show when I put the show notes out. Go tag Ellie and say, hey, Ellie, thank you. Nick and Walter talked about you and how awesome you are. And that
thank you, Ellie. Thank you. Ellie. You're a superstar. Thank you. Thank you.
And so many others too. There are so many others out there to thank. I just want to make sure that we do it. We give each person the praise they deserve.
Yeah.
So don't lessen any of your praise for Ellie. Don't lessen any of your praise for Melissa Corrigan or Dana Dubois or
Melissa,
any of the other amazing female creators out there or other creators in general. Celebrate all the little things for each other. That's how we're going to do this.
Shares and stacks and comments and share them onto other platforms. Beautiful. Awesome. Here we go.
And I'm going to show
the video. Awesome.
Yeah, I'm going to show what my daughter did. This one's a video. It's not showing up on my side of the screen here, but that's okay.
I can see it.
I can still, Walter can see it. Everyone can see it. I'm going to play this. My daughter
hit some hearts if you can see it.
Is doing her first ever animation. And so I'm going to play this. It's short right now, but it's super cool.
Neat. I love it.
And it's an eye closing. I didn't realize it at first what it was. It's an eyeball watching a ball going back to the center, closing and blinking.
That's
and
awesome.
It's got those awesome S's from when we were kids. And somehow everybody in the world knew what those S's were. And we were all like, yep, we're going to just start. There's like some weird switch in the human mind that says infinity S. And I never taught my daughter those, but she's apparently seen them or knows what to do. And it's fun. I saw it and I was like, oh my God. She was like, oh yeah, I'm working on this animation. This is the first. I was like, you're what?
Yeah.
You're doing what right now? You're animating. Can you please tell me how to do this? She was like, yeah, it's this. You just make these frames and you just do all of this stuff. And I'm like, Jesus, girl, you are so far ahead in all of this compared to me. Like I couldn't even consider doing this. Well, I probably could, but this is so cool. Like she just intuitively did it. She was just like, you know what? I'm going to do this. I'm going to test out. I watched her process on it. She was like erasing different sets of the eye lines and how they interacted. And she was layering them so she could see how it, like the difference in where it was and how the eyes closed.
That's cool.
It's so fun to watch her. And she kept showing me it too, which is one of those that I'm so excited that she does because it's fun to just see like her get so much joy out of showing these videos and showing these creations. And it brings me joy to watch her grow and be like expressive in her own unique and amazing ways.
Yeah, it reminds me of like the 80s cartoons somehow, like the 80s when we grew up. There's something about it. I was getting I can't discern what it's coming to mind when I see this, but there's something on it that's really familiar, so it's kind of nostalgic and cool.
And she's using she's using a program called Procreate.
That one, great.
And it has like animation assistance tools, and it helps get the animations like start how to build them and grow them out. And she's just doing an incredible job. Like I'm so proud of her for I'm so proud of the art she's doing and how much joy she gets out of it because it's so fun. And Procreate is a single purchase application, so it's
Nice.
not a monthly subscription program. You can buy it once and then you're done, and you can share it across your like apps
Oh, awesome.
on the iPad and stuff. So like I have a single account for all of us, and I never have to pay for it again.
Nice.
I would absolutely recommend it. It's easy for kids to start learning on too. This was the program my daughter, my son, and I all have on our iPads for artistic digital artwork and creations. And so it's cool. It's worth it. I think it's like 11 or 12 bucks. I don't
Oh,
remember.
geez. That's
It's
amazing.
not
Yeah.
very expensive for a single purchase application. Like they knew what they were doing.
Yeah. Good for
And
them.
there's so many different like pencil tip things in there. You can create your
Yeah.
own palettes of like pencils and like
Neat.
designs that can be dragged like you're doing a pencil script with like explosions around it or something. You can make all your own and custom things. It's really cool. Yeah, $12.99. Thanks, Kat, for finding that. $13 for forever. And then you can share them and download them and spread them around. And if you want to create on something like that, again, I'll put an email handle into our post show for everyone to be able to send artwork to for notes of the week. So take a look at that. And yeah, like I'm so glad my daughter is doing these things.
Yeah, me too. Me too.
It's fun.
Beautiful. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's way less depressing
Yeah.
than all of the shit that's going on.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to decide which of the notes we should start with today. I think I'm going to start with the Adam Kinzinger one.
Good. Yep. Good.
Because that one's super important. At least for me, I think it is. And I think
Yes.
that one.
People got to hear that.
And I have two right around this exact same note. So my two are just gonna go one. We'll read this one, and then I'll switch over to the second because that's the one that I really want to talk about. But I wanted to make Walter was like, you should make sure that you have this also tagged with the original context around it too, or nearby on it, so that we can it doesn't get lost. And it's not showing up on my screen again. That's so weird.
I see it.
You see it. I have it over on my screen, so it's not like I don't see it anyway.
Let's have some hearts if you can see it.
Yeah, have some hearts if you can see it. I'm gonna put up
getting the hearts. Come on.
I love it. Yeah, always smash the hearts. It helps get more in the crowd for us, builds up our discussions, and gets new people in here. And the way that the Substack video feed.
No, actually, I just jumped over to I wonder if we're not coming through. Oh, I'm seeing some because I'm getting
seeing
like
hearts.
a load. Okay, I'm seeing hearts.
Yeah, my video is behind on the Substack side too.
Well, I'm getting like a load.
Oh yeah, it does that sometimes.
Are people hearing me? Yeah. Huh.
I think so. I think they're hearing me, and I don't really want to restart my chat because then I'll lose all of the conversation that's been going on, and I don't like losing that during the show.
Let me just ask for some feedback from people though in the chat. I mean, I'm getting something where it looks like the video's not loading. Is that what you guys are seeing? You said you hear us. Is the video not loading though, or you only can hear us?
Do you see us?
I can hear you both, but I'm getting the impression that we can't be seen. So it looks like we hear.
Dana,
and
Rob,
Robert says he hears and sees you both.
Yeah,
okay.
Bob says hear and see. And smash that hearts anyway.
Yeah.
That really helps also too in the post show algorithm. It adds hearts
video
to
and
the
audio.
show.
All right, thank you.
Thank you everyone for confirming with us. Let's get into this note. So this week, Adam Kinzinger decided to say something stupid after the murder of Renee Nicole Good. And I responded to it, and I thought I saw a bunch of other folks in our community respond to this too. And I put two responses out for this. And also I linked something around an article that was written on the importance of why this is happening and what the meaning behind linguistic suppression is, and it is a supremacy tactic. Whether
Yes.
he likes it or not, and whether
Yep.
he's doing it purposely or not, it's a supremacy tactic. So Adam Kinzinger
Absolutely.
said, "Dear Democratic politicians, may I make a humble suggestion? Stop with the constant use of the F word. Not only is it tacky, it loses its impact when you do it so much. And honestly, it looks forced, like you're trying to be tough. Just a suggestion." My response, fuck that. Use the words that are most appropriate for the situation. If it's fuck, then say fuck. It's not tacky when it's authentic. What's tacky is trying to purity culture or fucking words because you don't like how it sounds.
Yeah. That guy.
And like there are so many, and then
Well, a
I'll
woman
move.
is dead, right? A woman
Yeah.
is dead, and he's not denouncing the Gestapo for murdering people. And I get really upset with people about Adam Kinzinger. He's got this huge platform. He's got tens of thousands of paid subscribers. He is in an ideal position to say, this is unacceptable. They're
Yes.
murdering people. They're murdering innocent people. And he's wasting that time telling us not to say fuck. And then I'll say this, and I'll get people coming out of the blue to attack me saying, well, Kinzinger, he lost his job because he stood up. It's like, look, a lot of people have lost their job. We don't owe our loyalty to Kinzinger till the end of time, and he's been doing a lot of shitty things. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Nick. I'm kind of getting all riled up again.
No, I mean, I agree. Like, it's on his part, it's tone deaf as fuck. And then I have my second note, which you may have seen folks see me do stuff on there, is I tagged in the original note from Adam for my second one, which I tagged him, which is, "Dear Adam Kinzinger, in my humble opinion, fuck off with policing's people's freedom of speech. Be more concerned with the rise of white Christo-fascist apartheid state and state-sanctioned domestic terrorism by the goons in ICE. Renee Nicole Good was fucking executed. No due process. Just fucking shot in the face at point blank range. 3 times. Shot 3 times on purpose by an officer, by a trained agent with multiple years of experience who was a firearms instructor for ICE. So fuck off. You're worried that fuck sounds tacky? Fuck off, man. Thank you for your attention to this matter, NP."
Yeah.
Because fuck off. Like, dude, ICE murdered an innocent
Yeah.
woman for no fucking reason
Yeah.
other than to express power, and because she wasn't afraid of him. She made that man feel small, and she did it by smiling and
Yeah.
being loving, and she faced hate with love. And someone's over here, and Adam Kinzinger, you're over here telling us that we need to fucking police our words because why? Because the mayor said fuck on TV? Like, get the fuck out of here, Adam. Like Walter just said, you have tens
Yes.
of thousands of paid subscribers. You have a platform of millions of people.
Yeah.
You're not reaching out to any of us.
Yes.
You are pushing us away when you tell progressives to fucking just relax. I will not take a deep breath on this one at this point because fuck you, Adam. Like,
Yes.
you abuse the position that you're in. And I've interviewed Joe Walsh, and the fact that both of them are reluctant right now to speak out even more on what's going on. And Joe, I hope you do speak out more because I respect you, because I respect what you're doing, because you've been putting in a decade's worth of hard work to have your own real mea culpa. Hard work. You are doing it now. Continue.
Yes.
Now call it out even harder. Force
Yes.
it. Demand it of the politicians. And if they're unwilling to do it, get a movement together and demand they immediately resign so that Congress cannot have a full quorum. Because then we have to vote. Because then immediate elections have to happen and new congressional members have to be sworn in.
Yeah.
Demand that they resign. Use your platforms, Adam, Joe, any of the other former Republicans. Use it to force these fucking people to resign now, not later, now.
Adam should be flying to Minneapolis. He should be walking around, standing between ICE agents and the people they're abusing. He's got the power to do that. He's got the visibility.
Yeah.
And he'll say things like this, and you'll notice he always gets up there and lectures to us. He's not interested in talking to us. And he divides so many people. I have so many people who come after me when I'll say, look, I disagree with what he said. He called the attack on Venezuela, the illegal attack that murdered, we don't even know how many, 80 plus, 100 plus innocent people, grandmothers and stuff dying. He called that the right call. And it's like, that erases everything. And it's like people keep going back to January 6th. It's like, look, if you murder somebody, even if you did the right thing, it's like that's not like a free pass for the whole rest of your existence. He has to stand. And he's one of those centrist saboteurs who is loyal to his billionaires. If we did mass unsubscriptions from Adam Kinzinger, that's the only thing he'd hear, because he's not going to listen to our criticisms. And you'll notice too, he doesn't platform anybody. He won't have me on. I mean, if he wants to talk about this, I'd be happy to talk to him about it. But he will never platform me. He'll never platform Nick. He is only there to suppress our voices so that he gobbles up all because he's got this established authority from the old guard that got us into this mess. And he brainwashes so many people. Where I'll get consistent comments. I always check to see who people are subscribing. And there's a certain comment type. I'm like, I bet this is a Kinzinger supporter. He's brainwashing people. I'll go and check it. Yep, I see it. It's like, you got to stop talking to that guy. The people that are giving money to Kinzinger when he is out there deliberately taking the wind out of our sails. You know who else is doing it? I just saw this quote from Gavin Newsom where he says he's not in favor of the billionaire tax. Sorry, Gavin, that's the end. All the goodwill you built up, it's gone because you just revealed yourself. When people who show you who they are, you believe them. And we have to believe people that are I platform people that I don't agree with, and we have conversations. And Nick does that too. And I learn from them, and they challenge me, and people criticize me in comments, and I listen to them. Kinzinger's not one of those guys. He's not one of us. He is not of the people. He is a saboteur. He's working for the billionaire class. He wants to take advantage of this. He sees an opportunity to run for president, maybe as a viable option. That's not what we need. We don't need Kinzinger. So please don't support Adam Kinzinger. Please don't give him your money. Give it to Nick. Give it to Arturo Dominguez. Give it to somebody who actually stands for people, but not him. He's got enough. He's got his billionaires to give him money if he needs it.
Yeah. And they are, Courtney, you're right. People are failing to use their own critical thinking and moral compass. There's 30% of the population, 30% of every group in every part of the population too. Like, it's not just here's this 30% on the right, everybody else is going to have an agreement enough that we can get along. No, 30% of every group will drive towards an authoritarian of some sort. They will want to believe an authoritative figure of some sort because it's the easy path, because it makes them feel a little bit more powerful, and it doesn't require more work from them. They can sit there and go, yeah, I like that. I like this person's ideas. I don't need to challenge my own, so I'm just going to believe them. And they come in and be authoritative.
That's white supremacy. Yep.
And we obey because of that.
And it's also part of psychology at that point that we know this. We know these things. Kat in our audience helped teach me that a long time ago. Like, we know these things about what some of these effects and studies are that show us that roughly 30% of the population is going to fall under an authoritarian of some sort in some way, whether that be a good authoritarian or a bad one. There are good authoritarianisms. There are good authorities. They want authority over them. They want someone to help tell them how to live their lives. We can do that too. We can overwhelm them by being strong and right rather than strong and wrong. Like, who says we cannot be authoritative without also being compassionate and caring and value-based and not compromise our ethics and morals? Yeah. Because we're living in the rise of Christo-fascism, white supremacy, an apartheid state, the new Confederacy. I'm not going to calm down. I'm not going to calm down on the fact that we have ICE on our streets trained to kill first, not to de-escalate, trained to escalate and then kill because of it and get covered up for it. because they have a cover-up unit that
Yeah.
literally comes in and manipulates
Yeah.
fucking evidence. Jen
Yeah.
Budd was talking about that last night. And and people like Adam Kinzinger are
He
worried
knows.
that we said
Yeah.
the word fuck. That is purity culture. That is
Yeah.
Puritanism. That is the purity culture that permeates America that needs to break down too. Like,
He should be in Minneapolis. That Kinzinger
Yeah.
should be. That's pissing me off that he's not. That
Yeah.
fucker could go save lives in Minneapolis if he should be. He should be looking at what's happening. He should be seeing it. Where are our politicians? Why aren't they there?
Yeah. Why don't we have a team of former politicians who think themselves like better or higher than us in these ways? Like,
Yeah.
how come we don't? Thank you. My
Yeah.
wife just delivered me a
Straw.
limeade, a raspberry limeade,
Oh yeah, just it's gonna
or
help.
strawberry
the voice.
limeade. So I'm so excited about that.
Yeah. You know what else
but
you
like,
said? Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead, cut in.
I was gonna say that Milgram effect and like the psychological profiles about how people are inclined to obey authority. It's if that psychological test was done, if that study was done in the United States, all they're discovering is white supremacy programming. Part of the indoctrination, if your study is based on a population that has been indoctrinated to believe white supremacy like we have, it makes us inclined to obey. And that's another thing. That's what we have to, that's not human nature. That's something that's been indoctrinated into us. We need to get out of that. And that's our whole, and those using the authority conditioning, when they stomp up to somebody and they just expect that you withdraw, I am in your face, they start barking at you. Well, if you just start laughing at them, okay, big guy, you keep it barking. Here's a doggy treat for you. It's one of those things. Sometimes you can kind of, if you respond with humor and positivity, and that's another thing Daniel said. He says they've been taking the observers, they take them into a room, they're hostile, and they try to provoke them into saying something threatening, and then they charge you with crimes. So as long as you stay positive, you stay out of that white supremacy conditioning, and they're depending on it. They're depending on that conditioning. It's so terrifying how much of what's going on today is because of this cultural indoctrination that begins in preschool that we've all been subjected to. And we have to do our best to protect ourselves, get it out of ourselves, protect our children from being indoctrinated that way, being groomed, because they're all groomers and abusers and murderers. And it's just the fundamental culture of the United States. It all has to be changed and deprogrammed, and we have to do something better.
Yeah, and we can.
Absolutely.
That's the thing is, I'm not giving up hope because we can do it, because I've seen it happen in my life. I have witnessed what it looks like to help deconstruct family. And even though we still don't agree on everything, there's still a shift.
Yes.
There's a shift in mentality. There's an understanding. There's an awakening happening right now.
Yes.
And people are seeing it. People understand something is wrong in this country. Something is rotten. Something that is rotten is boiling to the surface in its most violent and hateful ways. And when a cornered or dying organization is on its last grasps for power, it has an extinction burst where it looks like it's inevitable for just a little bit because it goes full force. This is the time we all need to fortify ourselves the most.
Yes.
This is why we need to ground ourselves the most. This is why when dumbasses like Adam Kinzinger come out and say shit like "don't say fuck," you immediately respond by saying "fuck you." That's your response to him, is "fuck you" and the middle finger emoji.
Yes,
that should be your response.
He's trying to use authority conditioning too, to lecture to us and tell us how, and he is part of the status quo maintaining group. And they are not, people have been saying the enemy of my enemy is my friend. There's not just one enemy. There's multiple enemies out there. And Adam Kinzinger is just aligned with a different enemy that we also, have to oppose. Oh, I'm glad you brought that one in. That's a good one.
Yeah. I'm making sure this is Walter's note number 1 shows up.
Yeah, I see. Oh, let me just read it. It says Republicans can't perceive reality. They only perceive a white supremacy narrative. That's why it's useless to listen to them. And somebody else had brought up something similar to that. Kat was just saying somebody was harassing her by calling her a socialist. It's like, remember what happened when they put out, oh, let's forgive student loan. Social media is completely overrun. But what is it? 2 weeks ago, they gave 15 billion or 20 billion to farmers, not a peep out of anybody, And what made me think of this note, excuse me, was because they put out the body cam showing Renee saying, "Hey, I'm not mad at you, bro," as if that justified them. And in their minds, there was something in that video because they don't perceive reality. They saw something in that video that gave them permission to kill this woman, probably because, she had a same-sex partner, there's a bunch of the things that they contort reality in their own brain. So they're responding to things that don't even exist. And that's why I can look at something and a Republican look at the same thing and they see something that they need to kill and I see something I need to love. And and this is where it gets to me, where people start in with we got to understand where they're coming from. No, because they are viewing a contorted version of reality that is an example of a psychological break. There were times in the United States where the American Medical Association considered calling racism a medical disorder, but eventually they couldn't do it because they saw that it was so widespread. They would have to say that the entire country, fell into this categorization. So but it's really important for us to know this because it helps orient us to fight back against those people who try to pressure us to tone down our activism. Don't say words like fuck, you'll just make them mad. It's like, it's not us. It's the evil people and all they're ever going to do, when we had Jeffries and Schumer saying, oh, we can't say defund the police because then the right will just say we're a defund narrative. And I've said before, it's like if you said we like puppies, the right will accuse us of hating cats. It makes no sense. They just fabricate something where they can use to other us, to call us less than human. And every single example of that is false because all human beings are beautiful and they're deserving of life. So the entire right-wing ideology they've contorted their worldview. They deceive themselves. Nothing that they say can be trusted. And we have to accept that and recognize that before we're equipped to fight against it.
Yeah. And this ties so closely into what Adam Kinzinger was saying. He's a Republican. Mm-hmm. He has been his entire career. Yeah. He's still a Republican.
Yes.
He didn't change he hasn't changed his party.
Yeah.
And that's okay. If he chooses not to identify that way. And I don't care.
I'll push back against that one. I think it's not okay to be Republican today.
No, I think it's okay. I think it's okay only because I don't want him in the Democratic Party.
Yeah.
He doesn't need to be in the Democratic Party. He's not helpful.
Well, I want to see him advocating for healthcare, though. I mean, if he would, we should pressure him. Let's pressure him. It's like, look, you need to be an advocate for universal healthcare. All the shit that you stood for didn't work. So if we pressure him, if we can get him to take on that and use his platform to promote those ideas, I guess that's where I'm getting at. That's kind of kind of where
and
we're close.
Yeah, we're talking about Adam Kinzinger's Eric is if we can pressure him, and that's part of it. Like we called out the Midas touch. I've had folks call me out on things that I need to work on, and I'm responding. And I'm sorry to some folks that I've been slow to respond to on some of those things. I want to make sure we fix our community and make sure that we move forward as a community all around. What that also means is we use that collective pressure and power to do things like push Midas touch with Lev Parnas to increase their reporting on Ukraine, or we pressure Adam Kinzinger by telling him to fuck off on this, and that he needs we're gonna either not pay you, or you need to start advocating for the policies that you previously chose to ignore, such as universal health care, such as the Voting Rights Act and codifying voting rights for everyone and equal voting for everyone and equal access and easy voting for everyone. If you want to go back on your old ideas and actually promote progressive values that would move the country forward, because if doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results is the definition of insanity. Thank you, Albert Einstein.
Yeah.
And you know what? Republicans We've done the same thing over and over and over again. I don't need to understand where you're coming from because I know where you're coming from.
Yeah.
You're coming
Yeah.
from a place of hate where
Yeah.
you think you are the ones who need to be in power and need to have authority over others because you desire the authority.
Yeah.
I want to be able to have authority over others because people desire it from me. If there's a subtle difference, is I don't desire the authority.
Yeah.
They do. I want people to listen because I think I have good things to say and I promote pro dignity. They would say I'm nuts on the right, but we know their words are a lie because they're just coming from hate. That's all they are.
And Kinzinger obviously hasn't done the self-reflection to purge himself of that white supremacy conditioning. Nick and I are in the process of that. I'm not sure that I think that's a lifelong task.
Yeah,
but we at least acknowledge
it.
And this is why I defer to people. I mean, Zuri was supposed to be on and unfortunately she's not feeling well. I hope she feels better, but I defer to Zuri all the time. She just has that maternal energy. She understands. I go to her a lot. I ask her, am I right on this? Am I wrong? My wife tells me a lot. And it's just, Adam Kinzinger is trying to maintain that authoritarian patriarchal status quo that feeds white supremacy. Supporting people like him will bring this regime, will make it happen again and again and again. We are not up against a man. It's not the president. People are thinking, oh, it's the whole structure. The president is a symptom of a disease that has infected this country. We have to tear down that entire structure that allows a horrible person like that to get into power. It is something that can be done, but it's not going to happen if you waste your time listening to folks like Adam Kinzinger, who are white supremacy apologists. Even though he wouldn't call himself that, but he's apologizing for all these models of authority that gave him power and prestige and luxury and entitlement and his fat pension that he got for fucking us over in Congress all those years, and the socialized healthcare that he gets, but stood against the rest of us getting. So it's just really important for people to recognize and understand that we have to demand something better, and don't be pressured into, thinking somebody who is clearly not your ally is somebody that you have any loyalty to. I mean, every now and then a broken clock is right. But when they show again and again and again that they're standing up for wrong action that hurts you and it hurts your family and it hurts your friends, you have to walk away and support another group because we're building that other group.
Yeah. And why do Republicans always get to decide what centrist looks like or moderate means? If you want to be a moderate, go be a progressive moderate. You don't have to be a fucking Republican moderate to capture people. In fact, the reason that Democrats, people hate you so much is because you're just old Republican moderates.
Yeah.
You didn't embrace moderate progressivism, which is universal health care and funding services. Those aren't extreme platforms. Those are moderate views everywhere else around the fucking world. Everywhere, including in this country of Venezuela that, we took over, we took the leader out and we keep claiming they're super bad. Yet, we're the ones who don't have health care. We're the ones who don't have education services. We're the ones who have medical debt and bankruptcy. Nowhere else in the modern fucking world, in the first world country, has that. Nowhere else in our, which is also a racist term, is first world and third world countries, because that's an American view of their third world to us, not anything else. Like it's us saying you're lesser than us because you're not in our first world view. That's a supremacy mindset too. If we want to look at it, we are not first world either. We are the worst of the worst. We don't have services. Our government doesn't serve its people. Even far right governments in other countries that we call authoritarian and dictators have social fucking services for their citizens.
Yeah.
We suck. We suck because we keep trying to do the same damn thing, which is moderate towards Republicans. How about we moderate towards progressive values rather than regressive ones?
I always say they say you can't go too woke, but nobody says you can't go too white supremacist. We don't even talk about white supremacy.
Yeah.
We pretend it doesn't exist. And it's like they don't even notice that there's an extreme on the other side. And they fully have embraced white supremacy now. And even now, people, jackasses like Adam Kinzinger are saying, don't say fuck. They're murdering people.
Yeah, and we can force change just by doing what we're doing.
Yeah.
But also by not accepting their reality that white supremacy is the right choice. If you want to be a moderate, fine. Find a progressive moderate middle then. Don't frame our policies, don't frame what you are for based on what Republicans are. Frame it on what you're fucking for. Most Americans want services. Most Americans want health care so that they don't go into medical bankruptcy. Most Americans want to be able to get a good education, whether that means going to college, a trade school, an apprenticeship, any of those. Those are educations. Those should be paid for by the state, by us as citizens to reinvest in ourselves, because white supremacy has taught all of us that we are not worth the investment. And I'm going to say right up front, we're worth the investment. We're worth investing in ourselves and our futures and our presence. It's not just about our kids' futures. It's our present too. I want to live the next 50 fucking years of my life so that I'm 86 at least when I die, happier. Like, I don't want that just for my kids. I want it for me too. I want it for right fucking now. And we can do that by pressuring Adam Kinzinger to either shut the fuck up and get out of the way or start supporting these policies. And if they don't, and if Democrats won't, force them out of the way.
Yes. And one of the most important things all of you in the chat today can do, all the wonderful people that are here, just start openly talking about things like universal health care, because our country doesn't discuss these things. People get nervous if you're just like, gee, it would sure be nice if I didn't have to pay health insurance. Maybe it's time to go to Medicare for all. Just make those statements, and we're conditioned to think that nobody else wants that, when the truth is 90% of the population does want that. Everybody does want these things, and we can have these conversations. Wouldn't it be nice if I didn't have to pay so much for college? Maybe education should be free. And we get brainwashed because on social media platforms, when they suggest forgiving student loans, debt, they get their bots that just attack social media. So we think, oh boy, look at how bad it is. It's all out there. All these people have these beliefs. Talk to people. If you have face-to-face conversations with people, and just say, I just think it would be better if we had single payer. I'm really looking forward to Medicare when I get that age. Why can't we just roll that back like 2 or 3 years? Have those kind of conversations. Those are super powerful. And the more we normalize that, and the more we also normalize not supporting these massive creators who preach the same lies to us that have never worked, and telling other people that we owe some sort of perverse loyalty to those assholes, like fucking JD Vance telling us we should be thanking him all the time. Every fucking person who has always abused you and hurt you has always got up after he was done and said, you should thank me for that. They always do that. It would have been done worse. I could have done it worse. You should thank me. And it's just, all of this is the language of white supremacy. And we just have to start, I learned a lot on the playground. When I was young, I was growing up, and people were fucking with me all the time. You sit there, you take beating after beating because they're bigger. And then there's one day when somebody's coming after me, and I'm gonna fight back. And they're, why are you fighting back? I'm bigger than you. It's like, yep, you're probably gonna win, but I'm gonna hurt you. And that makes them leave. I mean, you don't have to be bigger than them. You just have to be willing to fight back. You just put that mindset, and we've had that taken from us. We're not unwilling to even talk to our friends and say we deserve these things because we're so beaten down. And it's just the second we flip that switch in our own minds, that's the battle. Then meet another person and flip the switch there. As you double, double, all of a sudden we've got everybody, and it only takes a month. We don't have to get to everybody. I mean, 2, 3, 4% of the population, it becomes self-sustaining at that point. So have hope, everybody. This is the only thing that's going to work.
Yeah. And we need to be willing to call ourselves out and to grow from it. And to be able to learn from others and learn from those experiences. And thank you to those in the chat who are
Yes, thank you
talking
all.
about the incident that, or the discussion from Elizabeth Raven this morning, where she and Arturo Dominguez are calling Dean Blundell out a little bit for his language and the way he's talking about Venezuela. And I think that's super
Yeah.
important too, because I think Dean will respond to that. I think
Lawrence.
because Dean is a good dude, because Dean is trying to learn too. And I think he, just like the rest of us who are doing this, want to do the right thing and want
Yeah.
to help as best we can. And it's active. It's for all of us to learn from these experiences and continue to grow. As Elizabeth Raven told me, well, you didn't know before, but you do now. Which means,
Yeah.
I know now, which means I can learn from it. If I know now, I can learn. And so I think it's important. So
Yeah.
I am going to reach out to Dean to see if I can
Good. Yeah.
mediate a conversation with him, Elizabeth and Arturo, because I think, one, it's important that he meets them. I think it's Eric, Blue Amp's not peeking in. Lawrence is co-founder at Banner and Backbone with me.
Blue Amp form
Blue Amp, like Blue Amp Media is awesome. Like support
they
Blue Amp
platformed
Media.
me. I mean, they did exactly what I'm just asking. It's like, yeah, come on for a talk. Thank you. And it's like we don't have
platformed
to agree.
me. Yeah. I'm nobody.
I get to have just our point of view. You know, we represent certain people, and that's what we're trying to represent, the people that our representatives won't represent. How about that sentence?
Yeah. And no, Eric, I laugh too. I think it's funny.
Yeah. We love
because we're doing the cross platform that we're talking about just naturally. Like Lawrence and I have these discussions in the background sometimes of like, everybody's converging on the same ideas at the same time. We're just trying not to duplicate the work for each other.
Yeah.
Like, I'm hopefully not trying to duplicate efforts that, say, Blue Amp is doing, where they have a really big audience that I don't, and they can amplify, and they do amplify. I mean, they amplified one of my articles. Blue Amp is the first time I've been published in a reposted as a full article published in a media organization that I didn't own specifically. Nice. Like, yes, I've been platformed in terms of live recordings, but I hadn't had an article published by someone. And Blue Amp published my Wounded and Unknown article as a repost from in original content in its entirety, so it could get out there, so that the information could get out there, because it's important. Blue Amp is amplifying. Like, we're working together, and I love it. I love that we get to do these things. And what that leads into actually is Walter's second. I think that's sort of a perfect segue.
Yeah, it is.
Second note. Walter, do you want to talk about it?
Marlon Weems. Have you talked with Marlon Weems yet, Nick?
Yes.
Yeah, he's wonderful.
I love Marlon.
This, and it's worth. I don't think we have to play the video, but it's such an excellent thing where he talks about an episode on what's his name? Joe Rogan's show, and how Joe Rogan brought up a graph, and he just completely misrepresents what the graph contains. And the person who puts this video together, they looked at the graph, they tracked down where the graph is from, they went through it, and they showed that, they were showing the drug consuming of drugs was going down, but all that happened during the Biden administration. And it's just so important that, I've never really listened to Joe Rogan, but every single person who recommended that I listen to him was somebody I'm like, you're kind of, you don't have the facts right about anything. And so, it's just one of those things where it's just a case of how our young people, and especially young men, we've been talking about this lately, they don't have good role models. They look up to a guy like Joe Rogan, who is actively undermining, he is a participant in the construction of a fascist state. He platformed the traitor who is in office, and he didn't platform Kamala Harris, and just things like that. He's got his finger on the scale, and he's another person. If you have kids that are listening to Joe Rogan, if they're still in your house and you can stop it, you got to make them stop listening to that. Because a person who can't interpret a graph, who puts a graph on screen, it's like so many of our kids are educated by stuff that's outside of the public school system, that's outside of proper academic process, where people have qualifications. You know, I'm a teacher. There's things I had to pass tests. I had to submit to having my teaching reviewed. There was all these things I had to do. If I started teaching things in class and I put up a graph and I started saying things about it that weren't true and weren't represented by that graph, if I proved in a class that I couldn't interpret a graph, I would have been fired, and rightfully so. And we have this right-wing movement because they can't infiltrate schools and they want to attack our kids and they want to dumb them down and they want our young men especially to be frustrated. They take people like Joe Rogan and tell them lies to consolidate their own power. And this is evidence. What this is, this TikTok video, or what is it? Is it TikTok? Whatever the video is.
Yeah, whatever the video is.
It's evidence that that guy is toxic. He is not a person you want your kids listening to. If they listen to him, they will not have productive, happy lives. Our country will and I wonder who supports him, because he's never been good. I mean, he had this meteoric rise, but he's never had any. He was the host of Fear Factor, and all of a sudden he's like one of the most influential voices in our nation. It's like something is sponsoring him. Something's not right. There is always this extreme right-wing money. There's endless amounts of that. They go and create these influencers who put toxin into the whole stratosphere that ruin our kids. He's part of the reason. I mean, it's the same hate conditioning that leads to school shootings and suicide, and all the things that are wrong with our country are because of this. This video just explains it. It's a proof of it in one quick little spot. And I just want to give people a warning about that. Your kids are being influenced by these awful, awful forces, and we have to do something about it.
Yeah, and I'm trying to find another note that I put up to that that fits. Oh, there it is. Let me get this one onto our screen too. It fits right into it after. I'll do this one after.
Yeah.
I was sent from our friend Eric or Evan Fields. He sent me a video of a Theo Vaughn, like a segment out of a Theo Vaughn recording, and I never listened to Theo Vaughn. I think he's a fucking idiot.
Oh, that, yeah.
And they were talking about riding Uber, and the guy was like, well, you certainly didn't ride in an Uber Black. And the interviewee's response was, certainly not. It was Uber White. And I was like, Jesus fucking Christ. You people are just the worst. Openly
just racist and
bad.
What is it? Their white supremacy just bubbles out. They're not afraid of it anymore. And it's like, they think it's been normalized. They don't know how wrong they are, because they're still a minority in this country. They don't think they are, just because they got an asshole in the White House, which we should probably change the name of that shit too, to be absolutely honest. We should change the colors. I keep saying we should change the American flag to the pride flag. When we get to that point, or we could at least color in the white spots and make it, red, or the rainbow on there. We can adjust our flag. We can do the things we want, just as a symbol that we're going to embrace integrity and prosperity for all, and the right for all people to live and not be harassed and murdered by our government. But just because they own the media, they own all the government, but they don't own the minds of all the people. And once we start speaking and getting organized and staying together, they'll find that out.
Yeah. They can't own all of us, and they cannot thought police all of us. And if we put ourselves into this space all the time and flood the zone with our values and your values in the audience, and people who want to feel connected and want to do something other than hate, because it makes you look fucking ugly, one. And two, it makes you feel bad. Like, hating people makes you feel bad, and you can see it on the video with Kristen Guilfoyle, or whatever her name is. She looks like she is infected by some sort of hate virus. And I call it a virus because that's really what it is it can be killed. The virus itself can be removed. She went from being a normal looking, really attractive woman, in my opinion. I found her attractive previously. I would have found her attractive. She was a normal, very attractive woman who was well put together, really articulate, just a good person, just a good, normal person, and then went MAGA. and then
Yeah.
became whatever this MAGA toxicity is. And you can
Yeah.
see it on their faces because they fake themselves. They turn themselves into other people. They
Yeah.
get the Mar-a-Lago plastic surgery look. They get this plumped up face. They inject themselves with poison and hate
Yeah.
because they
Weird.
hate themselves and what they are so that they can fit into that single idealistic mold
Yeah.
that we have all realized sucks.
Yeah.
Like, nobody wants to live like that. I don't want to be just like Walter. I want Walter to be Walter and Nick to be Nick and us to be able to get
Yeah.
along and disagree because
Yeah.
it's okay that we disagree about things. It's okay that we have a discussion. We're not debating each other. These are discussions. I like
It's
to learn
exploration.
from Walter. Yeah, it's
I
an
call it
exploration. Yeah, we're diving into ourselves and we're letting ourselves and others in the community learn. And folks like Joe Rogan are pieces of garbage because they
man.
refuse to learn.
Yep.
That's what when I say that is they refuse to learn.
Yep.
If you are allergic to knowledge, go away. Like,
and that's that. Go ahead.
Like, that is the most toxic trait of them is they are allergic to knowledge and accountability, and that's who they are. I don't want a Joe Rogan of the left. I want a Walter Rhein of the left.
Yeah.
I want a Nick Paro of the left.
Yes,
I want a
yes.
Shane Urich of the left. I want a Evan Fields of the left. I want a Lawrence Winterman of the left.
Yes.
I want a Tim Fullerton and a Chris Goldsmith and an Oh That's Rich and an It's Luke's Last Brain Cell and Zach Kimball and all of the other creators and men that are out there. I want a Bobby Jones of the left. I want men who are coming out. I want an Arturo Dominguez of the left who is willing to call out racism and willing to say the things that are needed to be said and willing to help further progress our side too without hate. I don't come at people when I correct them with hate. That's the difference. Is I come at people when I want a correction or want to see something better with love.
Yeah.
And that's what we need.
And I was going to say, this is an example too, what I said before, they only see the white supremacy narrative. They can't see reality. And that's why they appear to be unified in how they interpret everything, because they've so contorted their own ability to perceive the world around them that they impose that worldview on everything they see. It's the opposite of the scientific method. The scientist looks at something and sees what it tells them and then changes the worldview. These white supremacists, they have a worldview. They look at things and then they change how they perceive what they see so it supports their worldview. And that's why Joe Rogan can pick up a graph that completely undermines everything he believes, and yet when he presents it as if it's a truth or a proof of what he believes. And that's why the left will always be diverse, and we'll always we'll subject ourselves to peer review. People used to fight me on this because they'll say, oh, you're in a left-wing echo chamber. I say there's no such thing. There's only echo chambers on the right, because on the left, we go through that process of peer review and we look for things that are wrong and we fix them and we are critical and we change things. And so, it's only on the right wing where you get the echo chambers because they have their one decided narrative, the narrative of white supremacy. And, and it's this Guilfoyle, what's her last name? I mean, they believe it. They've bought into it because they see it as a route to power. But they're disregarding the fact that she is not one of the people who are anointed to receive power within that hierarchy. She's going to find that out because we're going to see it in real time, because as the walls continue to close in on the odious white supremacy leader of this country, he's going to start picking people to sacrifice. And you remember how black men were advocating for him, people like Herschel Walker, there was a couple more. Well, who didn't get any positions? Who didn't get assigned to his cabinet? None of the black men who advocated for the president got any cabinet position. None of them were rewarded.
Yeah.
Because that was the first people he's going to remove. He's got some white women in there with their plastic faces. That's going to be the next group. What's her name? Christy Noam?
Noam.
Yeah. She's going to be arrested, I bet, at some point pretty soon. And she's going to sit in jail and her face is going to fall off. And she's going to sit there with a skull facing the world
saying, oh my God, why did I put my faith in that evil hate ideology? Because they gave up on me. There was never any loyalty. There was never going to be. My life is ruined now. That's what happens.
Yeah.
Herman Cain,
Yeah.
that's another one. He did
Yeah.
too.
All of them.
Yeah.
And it's always
Not a
going to be the
secret.
women first and minorities first that get targeted. It's
Yep.
going to be, I mean, you see that with the Epstein case. The only person who was
Yeah.
arrested was Virginia Giuffre. Epstein was too, but the only one who was
Or
really
Ghislaine Maxwell.
charged.
You meant to say
Sorry,
Ghislaine
Ghislaine Maxwell was really charged. Was Ghislaine Maxwell? Epstein
Yep.
got off easy.
That shit's still going. That's never
And
been
that
stopped.
shit's still going. We
I
didn't
keep
stop
saying
the
it.
root cause. We just took
Oh.
one perpetrator out
Yeah.
and said, "Oh, none of these other men
Yeah.
are responsible. It's just this guy."
They're
And
raping
we need to
kids
stop
today.
that.
Yeah.
And all of this goes, and I want to share the note that I had
Oh, yeah.
shared around this one, around the Theo Vaughn. It's got a video attached to it.
Oh,
I
that
won't play
guy.
the video right now because it's disgusting. But the quote that came out was not an uber black. No, certainly an uber white.
Yeah.
Bro, like this is not Theo Vaughn who's on the screen. This is the guy who said no, certainly an uber white. They're both racist as fuck.
Yeah.
If you were sitting in that room and someone said, "Oh, not an uber black," my response would be,
What?
"I'm done here."
Yeah.
My response would be, "No, thanks. We're done this conversation," because that was racist as fuck.
Yeah.
Because it's a color that you're mad about. It's a color that you want to degrade, and you're making a joke out of the name of the app on like the driving part of the
Yeah.
app and what cars, and the uber black are the nice ones, are the nice expensive blacked out and like private vehicles. So yeah, I want an uber black. Those sound fucking awesome. That sounds like what rich people might have a little bit of experience of as
Yeah.
a chauffeur and someone who's nice. I've driven in an uber black and it was an amazing experience because the guy came with freaking gloves on. He came with and opened the doors for us and was basically a valet for us. He was a private valet driving us, and he was incredibly nice. And it was one of the nicest experiences I've had. I'm mad about this because this is pure white supremacy, just culturally accepted.
Yeah.
Because he gets away and no one's going to call him out on his show.
Yeah.
No one's going to, and not enough people are going to call him out in real life. And that's what we're doing right now.
Yes. Yes.
Theo Vaughn and this guy suck, and they
Yep.
need to be called out. And if you're subscribing to them, like Walter said, if someone in your life is subscribing to them, you can help them unsubscribe. It's super easy. You can help them unsubscribe from that shit.
Yep. And this has been one of those things I was talking about where we're so conditioned to just put our blinders on and mind our own business. You have to be active. And this is positive masculinity again. When you're involved in your kid's life, just ask them and see the things that they're doing and engage with the stuff that they're doing. And because if you're Nick and I listen to this and it's like, oh, that guy's grooming people he's trying to normalize white supremacy with that statement. But a person who is 10, who looks up to these guys, and somebody was talking about how Joe Rogan, they like him because he's a fighter or whatever. He's in UFC or all this shit. And so, kids honestly don't know. They don't have any other, they haven't had the opportunity to grow into their worldview. And it's up to us as parents and mentors to be, and people say it again and again, there are no models for positive masculinity in the United States. We're trying to fill in that. But all you in the chat, I mean, while we're trying to turn the culture, we don't have to sit and wait for the whole culture to become decent. Every day, make your house decent and protect your kids. Adam Kinzinger is doing this too. He is toxic to your kids. I mean, it's like people say I'm overstating it, when I'm critical of him, but that's a big part of the problem. Adults don't have any problem with it saying it was the right call for the United States to illegally murder, 80 plus completely innocent Venezuelans. I've been to Venezuela. I watched that happen. And I mean, it made me as sad as watching the murder of Renee Good too. And it's just like so many Americans are just so passive. Like, oh, a couple deaths. We can't have any deaths. We can't have any of these. And these kids, the trauma of kids getting just grabbed and beaten and ICE thinking it's funny and then dumping them off in a parking lot somewhere bleeding. Who knows what kind of injuries they have? And we're just passively responding to this. So, yeah, I mean, and those of you who are frustrated and wondering what you can do, what positive actions can you take? You know, in your house, do not let the toxic hate virus of white supremacy enter. It is not welcome. It is not welcome in this house. Any statement has to be removed. It has to be obliterated. Do not let those people put that toxic mind virus into the people you know. Stand up for it when you see it. And that's how we'll make progress. That's what an action you can take today. Don't wait for the midterms. Don't wait for the next presidential election. Today, today, today. And as Nick says, when they say those things, you respond and you make them be accountable.
It's the paradox of tolerance is what we need to break down in this country. Is we become so passive on our opinions. The passive left, it was what the Republicans called Democrats for a long time, and progressives, because we have been very passive. We have deferred to being weak and right rather than strong and right. Because we're right. We have good ideas. There are a lot of really good ideas out there on the progressive side. We just don't advocate for them because they're like, well, we're always like, well, if somebody sees how bad the Republicans are, they're just going to navigate and guide themselves to us. No, they're not. That's not how navigation works. If let's imagine you're on the ocean and you're coming up to the coast of California where it's rocky, it's a huge cliff, it's hard to find a safe port to get into, and you're listening to someone screaming from a rock saying, come this way, come this way. That's Republicans. They're screaming from the rock as though they're a siren guiding you to your death.
Yeah.
Democrats could be a lighthouse.
Yeah.
And you know what a lighthouse does? Is it guides a clear path. It defines a clear path to safety and where the coastline is. You need to be the lighthouse, which means you need to put yourself out there and shine as brightly and as loudly and as often as you can. Stop being afraid to say you're wrong.
Yeah.
Or stop being afraid to correct, because the paradox of tolerance is a social contract, not a moral one. It's not a moral contract to call somebody out because they have broken the social norms of society, because they have put themselves in a position that puts them out of bounds of a society.
Yeah.
They have broken our social contract.
Yes.
White supremacist hate breaks the social contract that America was supposed to be founded on in the pursuit of happiness. You cannot pursue happiness if you are being oppressed constantly.
Yep.
And that's what Republican regressivism is.
And I want to say too, the Democrats keep depending on, well, people will just observe what's happening and then turn to us. And as I said, the whole right-wing ideology is to force people to respond to the white supremacy narrative and disregard their observations. So the Democratic strategy is a failure because the right wing spends all of its time indoctrinating the population to see, lies instead of the truth. And the fact that our elected representatives who went to Ivy League schools can't understand the futility of what they're trying to do. Their passive response, do nothing until the midterms because the people will see what a mess it is, while the Republicans spend literally every second, every waking hour, they use the entirety of the media on radio, on television, in movies and film, sitting there claiming, oh, the people that are responsible for all your problems are immigrants, and it's all these other, and it's teachers, and it's the LGBTQ plus community. And they program their base to not look at reality. So if our response is to just hope that sometime people will just spontaneously check reality, when we permit all this intoxication to make them do the exact opposite, of course we're going to fail over and over again. So that's the whole emphasis here. We got to teach people to believe themselves, reject authority, believe your eyes, believe what you smell and what you taste and what you see and what you hear. You are the authority because you're a good person who deserves to be treated well with decency and kindness, and you deserve to live, and you deserve to see your kids grow up, and you deserve to be rewarded for the product of your labor and all the effort you make in life. And you should be able to take some of what you've earned in your life and give it to your children so that they too can do well. And that's not going to happen unless we speak, because we have to combat the tidal wave of lies that makes people see the white supremacy narrative instead of reality. They're displaced from reality. We can't depend on reality to change them because they're trained not to look at it. And until we understand that, we're doomed to fail. But I think we're going to get there. I think we're going to win.
I think we are understanding it now. I think people are finally waking up. The famous quote of Americans: "The U.S. will do
Once they try to
once Americans have exhausted all other options, they'll do the right thing."
Yeah.
I mean, yes, that's what's happening. We are literally the only reason people are so fucking mad right now, for the most part, not us. We've been mad for a while, and we've been raging against this machine for a while, is because a white woman was killed. A white woman was murdered. That in itself is part of the white supremacy ideology, is that we should value her death more. And I'm talking about Renee Nicole Good. The white supremacist ideology is that we should value her death more than we do any of the other deaths of all of the men, women, and children who have been stolen and abused and raped and murdered by ICE. We feel more. We've been taught to feel more because it's a white woman specifically. We've been taught to feel more rage about that. You know what? I feel rage about all of them.
Yeah.
And Renee Nicole Good was a catalyst because it happened to the community that they said it would never happen to, or lied and pretended that it wasn't going to happen to. It's here. And people are waking up, and we don't have to wait until we've exhausted every other option. We can do it sooner. We have to do it sooner. We have to reconcile from the Civil War.
Yes.
We have to reconcile this country and our past from its brutal history of violence and supremacy. We have to reconcile those failings so that we can grow. I'm not trying to shame us as a nation. I don't want to shame the US as a nation. I want it to grow. I want it to progress. I want it to be here for another 250 years. I want it to have those 50 stars, maybe 51 if Puerto Rico does want to join us. But if I was them, I fucking wouldn't. They hate brown people in this country. They hate anyone who's not white enough. Like, I wouldn't fucking do that. If I were you in my life, I would find a way to break off from the US.
Yeah.
That said, we need to break the mindset that we can only be upset when a white woman gets hurt or a white person gets hurt. It has to be when the first one got hurt, when the first person got hurt, not when our community was affected. Because the poem by the Nazi who said that first they came and then no one was there for me, that's fucking true. And he was a Nazi. He wrote it because they finally came for him.
Yeah. Let me just add too, watch what they're doing, because, Renee Good, clearly a white woman, but watch their effort, because they other her. They say, well, it's okay to kill her. Now, the white supremacists are saying this, because they transform their reality to fit their white supremacy narrative. And so they have to rewrite, they besmirch her character, just vile people, Remember, Charlie Kirk comes out, we're mentioning his statements and they're attacking us. It's like he actually said this. And to fit their white supremacy narrative, which is delusional, they turned the attack on us and called us bad, even though all we were doing was saying the things that Charlie Kirk had actually said, and they insist on this narrative. They can't even imagine that it was a conservative who killed another conservative. They don't ever talk about white on white violence, which is all the only kind of violence there is. It's always the conservatives killing each other for not being evil enough. It's the left doesn't do that. That's not us. And so their actions, though, disparaging Renee Good's character, giving their white supremacist indoctrination a reason to say, well, this is why, but at the end of the day, you know, none of us are going to be white enough for the white supremacists. That's the first they came argument that Nick Paro just said. They're coming after all of us. And no matter how much, you know, and maybe you could tell this to people that are still MAGA, no matter how MAGA you are, when the day comes for somebody to be sacrificed, you've already got a number, because they're sacrificing every single one of them. They're happy to do it because it's an ideology of death. White supremacy is an ideology of genocide. It's in the name. They want to kill everybody who's not white. And then once they've killed all of them, they'll start killing the ones that are not white enough. And so we have to take it upon ourselves, because sooner or later it's going to be you. And we just have to see that truth. And we have to see all the people that are normalizing that ideology, which has been combined with our cultural ideology. And we have to be actively opposed to white supremacy. We can't just be passively anti-racist. We have to be within ourselves, actively pushing out the things that make our unconscious biases come forth, to make us inadvertently sponsor mechanisms of abuse. That's the answer. That's how we're going to win.
Yeah. And it's about us. It is about us taking care of ourselves, admitting that we need help and that we matter too.
Yes.
Because when you realize that you matter, that's part of the white supremacy conditioning, is making it feel like you personally don't matter, that you have no power, that you have no influence, that you will never leave a lasting mark on society in any way, or that you will not leave an impression on others. Guess what? That's wrong. You are the hero in someone's story. You are the hero in someone's story. You may also be the villain in someone's story, and you have to be okay with that. You have to be okay knowing that some of your actions may have hurt somebody else, and that you're willing to learn and grow from it. And if you're willing to do that, people will see it. People will feel it. You will attract folks to you. How do I get so many great contributors onto my show? Is I'm myself, and I try and attract people to me who want to express who they are and what they're talking about. That's how I met Walter, basically, was I wanted to reach out and talk to someone who's willing to talk about themselves and be authentic and push my views and my values and challenge me and make me consider where I can continue to grow. And I do that because I'm authentic, because I do it in life too. I am me here. I am me there. And when I go there, I also admit I have things I need to work on. I can be a better father. I can be a better husband. I can be a better human. I can be a better me. And I do that. I try to do that. And if we take these lessons and apply them in small things to each other, because the white supremacist ideology has taught us that we need to hate our neighbor. We need to hate our neighbor. That's what it is. We need to hate each other so that the rich assholes who are stealing our wealth, raping our children, and destroying our social systems can get away with it. We have to hate each other for them to do that. The one thing they do not want is for MAGA to be unbrainwashed and for the centrist to wake up and realize we don't have to be centrist regressives. We can be centrist progressives. And when that bell rings really loudly through all the discussions that we are having, because I'm not waiting for a Joe Rogan of the left. I'm building a Nick Paro of the left. I'm working with Walter Rhein to build a Walter Rhein and to expose a Walter Rhein of the left. Because when we become the voices of the left, which hopefully some of us will start being more of, and you'll start seeing more of us. And this new year is going to bring a lot of really good things for a lot of us to be able to get this message out there and be the voice in the void. I think this is what has been missing. Well, again, it comes down to, we just sat there passively and said, everybody will figure it out on their own because we figured it out, but we didn't figure it out on our own. We're not rugged individuals. It's not rugged individualism. It's collectivism, but in a positive way where we collect and build community. It's community focus and self-oriented growth. It's not rugged individualism Democracy and America are extensions of communities.
Mhm.
Democracy
Mhm.
is an extension of
Mhm.
our community, and it fails when our communities fall apart and don't talk to each other.
Uh-huh.
So, my challenge and my call to action for all of you is go celebrate something good in your life that's
Yes.
little.
Yes. Yes.
Celebrate something little in your life that is good. And then go celebrate something little in someone else's life that is also good. Go tell your kid how proud you are of them of something they just did. Go tell your spouse or your partner or your best friend. If you're a male, go tell your male best friend you're proud of him. Go
Yeah.
buy him flowers.
Yeah.
Go
Yeah.
get him a bouquet of flowers as a friend and say, "Hey, dude, you're doing amazing with what you're doing. I've seen the growth in you. I've seen these things. I wanted to give you this because you deserve to have this little bit of beauty in your life right now."
Mhm.
You'll open up so many doors and so many pathways.
Yeah, that's true.
And that's what we need. And I can't give up on folks. And I know we have to push certain people out. There are certain people that you do have to give up on. Guard your emotional sphere of influence, guard your emotions, and learn for yourself while teaching others too. Ask others, demand better of others by being the authority on what's morally right and what's socially centered and acceptable. Be that authority so that others can model themselves off of you just by nature, just by being there. Make your presence known when you walk in a room because your energy exudes confidence, because your energy exudes self value, because your energy exudes positivity. Those draw people in.
Mhm.
And so I want to close our conversation up on that positive note, also because
Yes.
Stephanie Wilson is starting her podcast here right now. And I want
Okay.
everyone to be able to flip over to her too, and give her as much love as possible. And we've been here for a good 2 hours. So,
Yep.
Walter, how can people support you, my friend?
Yep. Oh, wonderful. All you people have supported me so much already. But yeah, the likes, comments, and restacks, please restack. Jump on, restack the notes. If you can please be a free subscriber. Get some more people on the Substack if you can. We need more people, more voices. Share it around. You can listen to it on the app. That's really fun. And you can jump onto any of my pages and subscribe at any whatever, if you can afford to give, is pretty much how it's set up. It's all appreciated. It gets us going. You're more likely to get, I don't know if ever anybody ever gets removed from the email list. There's some malicious things sometimes go off in the background. I don't remove people, but if you're a paid subscriber at any level, that pretty much guarantees that you're going to be remain in the good graces of the platform. So consider it and just be there, keep being there, keep showing up. We need you so much. Thanks for all the positive vibes. Thanks for all the hearts. Love you. We'll see you next time. I'll turn over to Nick. Wonderful Nick.
Thank you so much, Walter. And also come support me here at Sick of This Shit Publications. Like Walter, everything is outside of a paywall. I don't believe in paywalls. Knowledge is power. Access to knowledge makes that power accessible. And when you have knowledge and power, you can then act on it and make change. And
Yes.
so I don't keep any of my stuff paywalled. Also, I like having amazing discussions like this. We talk a lot about positive masculinity and intelligent and intentional masculinity here. Talk a lot about chronic illness and health and well-being. And I've got a ton of great interviews lined up around the intelligent masculinity. Today, you're going to see me with Lawrence Winterman. Thursday, you're going to see me with Walter Rhein and then Dr. Eric Lulov. We've got all the way through the end of February, basically, I'm scheduled out for interviews.
Nice.
And they're going to be articles and written pieces about all of it. And we're going to break through, and it needs your support. And I need your support too on all of it to help me moving forward and help me being able to purchase some of the tools that I need so that I can make this more accessible for not just me, but for other creators too. Because that's my background goal, is to make creator platforms and tools that unify our ability to create without stifling or without demanding my take on other people's work. I don't want to be, I'm not here to police police or rewrite Walter's work. I'm here to promote it and talk about it and discuss it and learn from it and grow from it. And so you're going to be seeing tons of great stuff either on Sick of This Shit publications or on Banner and Backbone, my other publication where we do most of the civic content. But pretty much intelligent masculinity, healthy self-being, and better humaning is the Sick of This Shit publications experience. So come join us. Come join me. Come join Walter. We do these discussions every week on Tuesdays for 2 hours in the morning. It's fantastic. I have a lot of fun.
Me
And I
too.
appreciate every single one of you for joining us today as well in the audience. Thank you for everyone who comes back week after week after week with us and who share. So after the show notes come out, please share, restack, like, forward to your friends and community groups, forward it on Facebook, put it into your chat groups, throw it to your Signal friends, do whatever you want. Put it on LinkedIn too.
Yeah.
Do whatever you want. Show examples because they're needed. And we want to be those examples right now so that others can grow and become their own examples. And as I said earlier, and as folks in the chat have condensed down for me, is be a lighthouse and not just a foghorn. Help guide the path. Help be the light that leads towards a better path. Be a firebrand like Shane Yurick and be a bright torch that lights the way. So thank you, everyone. Thank you for being with us, Walter. Always a
Yeah.
good time, my friend.
Thank you so much. I think I feel so much better.
Always, yeah. And we'll see y'all next week. It's going to be an amazing discussion next week, Tuesday at 11 a.m. Eastern. And we'll be back again. Let's stop being sick of this shit, friends. And now we're doing this shit. Have a great day, y'all.
Thanks. Bye. Thank